I got money on my mind. I'm just trying to get some dough. I ain't picking up my line unless it's money on the phone.
When did y'all feel like it was in y'all's best interest to know about credit?
I would definitely say sophomore year of college. No, not sophomore, junior year of college. Whenever they sent me my first offer for a credit card. Whenever they sent that, I was like, oh, I should, because in college we just get they send you those offers and you're like, oh, okay, it's 0% APR, all this stuff like that. I mean, it sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it made me want to learn more about it just because it's like, if I'm gonna get a credit card, I should at least know how this stuff works.
Probably around the same time for me. It was like junior year, and the reason I started looking into it was I had some frat brothers. They was just talking about like their credit score, and then I was also getting to that point where it's like I'm about to get ready to graduate, so I'm like, I want to make sure I got my shit in order before I exit this place. So I went ahead and I looked at my credit score. I was like, damn, I don't like this. I was in a bad position.
Can you tell them why you don't like that, my brother?
So if y'all don't know, in the early episodes, I talked about this. So whenever I was younger, my mom put a bill in my name and she didn't pay it. So I had bad credit. Like I had like a 5-something credit score. I was like, man, what the fuck is this? Like, I really was just like, what the hell? Like, I ain't gonna lie, I was like so pissed off. I was hurt. I was like, man, how am I gonna make it? Because I didn't really know like what I know now. So I ended up looking into it. And like you said, I ended up looking into like a secured credit card. I was like, what do I have to do to start establishing good credit? Because I know I need to do something to at least start fixing this. So then I got me the Capital One Platinum card, the secure card. I put like $500 deposit into it. Then I started using it that summer and just started swiping it for like gas and small little purchases that I started paying back. And like within the next few months, maybe like 6 to 7 months, I was able to start bringing it up to like the mid sixes and stuff like that. So it was pretty, it was a learning experience, but that's whenever I realized credit was an important factor and it was something that I needed to start learning about.
I would say for me, you sparked my interest. Whenever we lived together in college, you had a credit card and you was talking about your credit score and how it was going up and how you were using it. And I was like, man, I don't know what this credit shit is, but I need to get on this. So then whenever I graduated, I looked more into it and I ended up getting a Capital One card. And then I didn't really know what I wanted to do with using just the credit card or exactly how I should get my credit score up. So I just did a lot of research and then started actually getting a lot more credit cards and started being very strategic in how I used it and where I used it at. But you were definitely the biggest influence of trying to get my credit card.
Hey, man. Appreciate that. 'Cause I mean, I think it was me and Jared. We got our credit at the same time, right, bro?
Yeah, we both got credit cards around the same time.
You want to talk to the people about your credit journey, Slim, too, my brother?
Yeah, so with mine, it was kind of similar to Jalen's in the fact that like I kind of started behind the 8 ball. So like I first like pulled my report and everything, and I was looking at my credit score and like it wasn't good. And like I had some stuff on there and I didn't know what it was. Like apparently like one time while I was in a completely different place somewhere, like a hospital had a bill for me or something, like I had some incorrect information and stuff that I had to get off of mine. So like I started having to try to figure out like, okay, how do I get this off? What is a dispute? Like who do I need to get in contact with? What do I need to tell them? Like, how do I prove that this wasn't me? So like I had to go through that whole process of trying to get that stuff removed. And then I started where you and Kelly went as far as getting a secure card. I had to pay like $200 to start. And then from there, I started using that card for small purchases. And then basically slowly but surely built a fairly strong credit report to where now, I mean, I know I'm basically going to get approved for whatever I need.
But that's the thing with credit. Like, that's why I wanted to have this conversation on the podcast, was because like we seen a lot of people saying stuff related to credit.
Let's talk about why we saw those things, about what we posted on the page and what kind of sparked that.
Okay, so we posted a clip from an earlier episode. I believe that's episode 32, 30 something. I'm gonna be a lot of y'all. Mastering Your Credit with Irene Pruitt. Y'all check that out. But it was a clip talking about how the credit bureaus work, basically, like not credit bureaus, collection agencies. Collection agencies, they'll go and they'll get these debts from these companies and they'll buy them for pennies on the dollar. If
Mhm.
you owe a company $10,000, they might buy this debt for a couple $1,000, maybe even less than that, maybe a few $100s. But what it was saying was that these collection agencies can then come after you for that money. And we met a lot of people saying that, oh, you don't owe a collection agency this and you don't owe a collection agency that.
Yeah, like if I'm not paying that, I'm gonna just wait
It's gonna
until.
fall off my report after 7 years. And it's like that whole mentality when it comes to credit, in my opinion, is being very reactive instead of proactive.
Mm,
Like whenever we talked about our individual credit journeys, at one point we all realized that we had to become proactive.
yeah,
Like we can't stay in this space whenever it comes to thinking about credit, where it's just like, and debts in general, where it's just like, oh, this is a problem. I'm gonna ignore this problem until it goes away.
that's interesting because I definitely see that like just within the black community, like a lot of times we have credit and people be like you said, oh, I'm gonna just let it fall off, or them I'm not paying them people back. Like that's their problem or whatever. But what you don't realize is you're creating a bad habit, a negative habit, because if you have this one person that you're feeling comfortable doing this with, what stops you or what's going to give you that discipline of not doing it to the next person who offers you credit? And that's really how you get stuck in that cycle of bad debt, because now you just use stuff, not paying stuff back, and you think that that's okay. And I kind of also want to talk about like why having that is also bad for you. Like you're paying more to borrow whenever you have a lower credit score.
It's expensive to have bad credit.
Why do y'all think people are like that? Or why do y'all think like people feel like it's okay for us to say, okay, that's not my problem, I'm not paying them people back?
Because you can live everyday life without it. I think that's one of the biggest things is okay. I have a bad credit score, but that's not gonna stop me from going to the gas station and get some gas. Like it's not gonna stop my everyday life. Now, if I want to go purchase a property or purchase a vehicle,
Long-term shit.
long term stuff, it might affect it. But as of my everyday normal life, it don't affect it, so I don't need it. Right? A lot of people don't live in the future. They live in what's right now, and that's it. I can't look 2-3 years ahead, and maybe I do want the house, but I can't look right there right now because guess what? I got bad credit. I don't need it. So I think currently it's just because you don't necessarily have to use it in your everyday life.
I'm thinking about just like this conversation with people not really wanting to understand it. I kind of want to dive more into like some understanding of it. Like, so whenever we was getting into our credit journeys, like what was the things that we discovered was helping us? Like for you, I know you said you had that negative report on your thing and you went get this card, but I mean, I'm pretty sure it was more to the process than that. Like you had to educate yourself, son. Like,
Yeah, so like I just had to learn what like compromise, what made up a credit score and stuff like that. So my biggest thing was whenever I start using this card, I want to start reporting on-time payments all the time. Like, so I was making sure, hey, I'm paying before the date is even due. Like, I'm making sure that I'm taking care of the card. And I was doing things that I didn't know. I was wiping the card off completely, which I later learned that, you know, you could keep a little bit on it just to have a little balance. But I was wiping the card off completely. But my biggest thing was making sure I'm reporting on-time payments because I knew that made up a large portion of the score. I didn't know everything, but I knew that if I at least start reporting on-time payments and start showing that, hey, I'm showing good faith to one creditor, I know at least it should start reporting something good. I didn't understand and start learning about like the credit repair like Jared did. I didn't understand and learn how to take that off. I was also kind of afraid. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, that was my mom using it. I was like, I don't want to get my mom in trouble. Like, if these people are like, well, maybe it was like identity fraud or something like that. So I'm like, I don't even know like how to attack this problem. So my first thing was just making sure I'm reporting on time payment.
I got a question for Jared. So, like you said, you had to look more into getting the correct information on your credit report. What did that process look like?
So the first thing I had to do was actually like, well, so let me rewind. So one of the first things I did after I graduated and I got a job was I paid for credit repair, and I didn't really know what was going on. And I ended up that didn't get it removed, or I thought it was removed and then it popped back on my account and my score. It was a lot of different weird stuff going on, but it ended up not removing the stuff off of my account. So I kind of figured like, hey, let me go ahead and just try to do this myself at this point. So it started with me pulling my report and from the three credit bureaus and seeing exactly who was reporting what and what was going on. And so then from there, I had to use that information to figure out who exactly was saying that I had this bill with them, who was trying to collect this debt, and I had to get in contact with them. I had to figure out what letters that I needed to send them and get in contact with them to let them know that like, hey, this wasn't me, and get a basically try to get like a settlement and get them to remove that off of my report. It was a long process, but like a lot of it came from having to do like a lot of reading, a lot of searching online, and just different stuff like that. I had to. It took a a nice little minute to figure it all out, but eventually it did.
So this is something that you discuss in the course, exactly how someone can, let's say I've got some incorrect information on my credit report that I
Mhm.
want to dispute. Is that something that you go over in the course?
Yeah, so I talk about like the general dispute process. Like it won't specifically go into like each individual situation because some of them are a little different depending upon exactly what you're dealing with. But in the course, it goes over like basically the general guidelines of what I had to do, and it'll get you going in the right direction. And it also points you away from a few different things that I almost did in the beginning that you shouldn't do. Like I almost disputed it online, and that would have led to me basically being held responsible by by the collection agency as it being my debt when it actually wasn't mine. And so like I found that out before I did it. And so it was actually like a big blessing. So I ended up not having that like stuck with me.
So you, whenever you settle with them, you didn't have to pay them close to anything of the full amount. You were able to settle for like nothing, or like settle for like pennies on what? Because it wasn't a
Really,
debt that you incurred yourself, right?
really pennies on it. I shouldn't have had to pay anything. If I knew what I know now, I wouldn't have had to pay anything. But it was pennies on a dollar for what it was. And basically, I just got in contact with them, and I had to like just find the settlement amount and then get them to like I paid it, and they were like, okay, cool. They sent me a letter letting me know that they would go ahead and remove everything off of my account, and like I had to get the proof of that before I paid them. And so like that's another big thing that I mentioned. And of course, like make sure you're gonna get proof of them removing something before you pay anybody anything. Because especially with it being somebody like we said, they collected or excuse me, they bought your debt from another company for pennies on a dollar. Sometimes you don't want to automatically just go pay them off because then they might not even do the rest of the job as far as removing everything off of your account.
You gotta watch yourself with these credit bureaus, man, right?
Shiesty.
These collection agencies and all this stuff. And that's the stuff that my brother Jared educates y'all on in our credit fundamentals course. Like I said, that's released already. It released this past weekend. Y'all definitely, if y'all want to learn more about your personal credit, learn from our credit journeys individually, definitely check out that credit fundamentals course. Link gonna be in the show notes to that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And my boy is a licensed credit repair agent, right? Or what is the certification you got?
Oh, it's a board certified credit repair specialist.
Y'all get that.
That's why I said if I knew what I know now, I wouldn't have paid anything. But back then, I didn't know some of the things I know now.
Hey,
So, okay. So let's hop in there. So, what's some of the things you know now that made you know that like what you don't have to pay? Because people, I was just talking about it. Like people was like, oh man, I ain't gotta pay them. So, like, what don't you have to pay for these people?
So, like, if I had known the fact that, like, if I had been able to prove that it wasn't me, number one, like, I could have went through the bill and like some of the information I'm sure would have been wrong. And with me going through that and actually looking through and seeing the fact that the information was wrong and me being able to prove that the information was wrong, I would have just been able to tell them like, hey, this wasn't me. Send a letter letting them know that like, hey, this wasn't me. I was there in this other location. Here's my proof. Blah blah blah. And then I wouldn't even have to pay that. Like I wouldn't have had to settle with them at all because again, it wasn't my bill.
All right. So how do you monitor that information? So how, like, if I'm a person that has maybe it's miscorrect information on my report, how do I know?
So that's where you go as far as getting, you're going to need credit monitoring as far as pulling your credit report. Like I said, when I first did it, I pulled my credit report. And we go through that and of course too explaining like how you can go and get a free one. I pulled my report from the three bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, and that's how I was able to start like figuring out who was saying what, because on there it's gonna list out what your negative marks are, who said it, why, like it gives dates and everything, like all of the information. So you can go through that and then start to look and see like, okay, cool. Why is this on here even in the first place? So I had to pull that. And then from there, I was able to try to figure out like, I had to monitor it too. So I had to sign up for legitimate monitoring because at first I had like Credit Karma and stuff like that. And I also explained in the course why that's not really helpful. So I had to sign up for like Experian. And then from there, I was able to monitor and see when it was actually removed, make sure that they stay correct on their word as far as getting it removed in the letter. And then like also another thing that I know now that I would have looked into is stuff like the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Like there are different rules and regulations that these people have to abide by that I just didn't know.
Wait, so you telling me my 750 on Credit Karma ain't right?
Nah, champ. You might not want to believe that. So Credit Karma, yeah, they be lying. Cause well, not how to explain. They don't necessarily be lying. They just use a different if we're using addition and subtraction, they're using like multiplication or something. Like they're using a different way to try to figure out the formula. And it makes it come out with a nicer, prettier score. There's a reason that it's free.
Because it's just an estimator, right? It's just an estimated score. It's not an actual score.
No, it's definitely not your exact score.
Okay.
Damn Credit Karma. All they here for us to sell y'all some credit cards. I just want y'all to know that. Like,
Yeah,
real?
that's exactly how they get paid.
Like, nobody love Credit Karma ain't got no love for you.
Real
No.
deal.
None at all.
With like the pulling your credit, we also have a free downloadable that really walks you through how to do that. Correct, Jared?
Yeah, it should be in the show notes. You can download it. It's a PDF that just walks you through exactly how to get your full free credit report from Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And it's not that hard. Like you just biggest thing I do want to advise people, and it does say it also in the instructions, is to make sure you're near a printer or something like that so that you can get the report printed off, because you only gonna get to see it and basically have access to it on your computer at one time. And then after that one time, you gonna have to pay.
Uncle Sam want that money.
That's secure files, man. Them secure business filings. You know what I mean?
Unless certain special circumstances, and if there's enough interest in that, definitely let me know, y'all. I can let y'all know. It's like some special circumstances that you can go through or that you might be in that would allow you to get another free credit report. Like a lot of people might be dealing with right now with coronavirus is unemployment. That can be a special circumstance to where you can get a free credit report.
Hey, y'all cop that course.
Hey man, I'm telling
I
y'all,
didn't
y'all
even know some of this
click the
stuff.
downloadables. Hey, but real quick before we get out of credit, y'all, I want to still talk about one thing me and Kelly was talking about off camera beforehand. Just another strategy with credit, like using your credit card to make payments that you were going to make anyway. So like a lot of people don't like to, you know, we got a lot of people that are real anti-credit. They like, oh man, debt is the devil, da 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 da. Well, like one strategy that, like Kelly said, when he seen how I was using it and like he adopted, and we still both use to this day, is we pay bills that we're going to have to pay anyway on our credit card first in order to collect cash back points for them. And the way that works is instead of just carrying a huge balance on your credit card, you pay the bill and then you pay the bill off. You don't just let your credit card balance run up.
And one of the things that I use, because I'm a busy person and I'm forgetful, especially about stuff like that. So my bills are set on auto pay, right, with my credit card. Then on top of that, it's set on auto pay for the credit card balance. So it's automatically paying itself through my account, and it's automatically, my bills are automatically getting paid, and I'm earning reward points.
Hey, that's smart. That's a nice little hack.
How many reward points you got on, Kelly? Let them know.
I got on Chase, I got about 120,000. And on credit, on Capital One, I probably got about another 50, 60,000.
So you're looking at these points, that's move the decimal over two places, and that, well, no, what? Four places, and that's your monetary amount. You got, so a band and what?
About 500.
Yeah, so
hey, that's good. That's damn good.
Man, I would have some damn reward points too, man. Y'all, hey, listen to the wise, y'all. Don't get Amazon accounts with your family, dog. Man, I had my credit card stuff. I got it set up like this, man. My shit like 2 years of running, just paying bills. I'm like, man, my cash back points don't never go up, man. My older sister been using my damn cash back points to buy shit on Amazon, man.
Oh man, hold on, man.
Man, I was hurt, son, when I found that one. I said, damn, man. I'm like, man, my shit don't never go up. I pay my shit every month. I only got like $60 in this motherfucker, man.
Damn. Hey, don't let your sister own your stuff. Don't let your family own. If they own Amazon a lot, don't let them to your cash back.
But that say something else about credit. Just even with credit, man. Y'all only fuck with people with credit that y'all trust, man. Don't be extending cosigns to people.
Honestly, I say don't even.
But there is something I do want to talk about before we move on. I do want to talk about like adding people to your credit score, to your credit account, even though they're not authorized users. Like, that's a huge benefit. So don't confuse us joking around like that. I actually help somebody out.
Huh? You rich, my nigga.
Oh,
You got Versace glasses on.
Oh my God.
I do got Versace glasses. But yeah, you can go and add people to your credit account and help them with their credit score, especially if they're new. Ask your parents, if you're young, ask your family member that you know has good credit. Tell them that you do not want to be an authorized user, but you do want to get added to their account, so you can be added as a credit user.
Versace.
Miko.
Yeah, but hey, no, that's game though. That's real game. Make sure that's a whole nother thing. You can add them and not have them actually fuck up your credit. That's basically what it is. Yes.